Welcome to Shorts Beyond Measure, where fashion, interiors, and psychology get the stylish, savvy, and slightly therapeutic touch.
We're Tara West, Caroline Baltz, and Allison Goldberg, a fashion stylist and two interior designers who are also trained as psychotherapists.
So let's get into what's trending, what's tired, and what's actually worth your time. Because good style and good decisions should never be short-lived.
Good morning, Caroline.
Hi, Tara.
We are missing our third person who is a vital part of our podcast.
Yes, this feels very strange.
It's very strange. And she's so funny. I can't live up to it.
I know. No, there's no way. Yes, being friends with Allison makes me realize how unfunny I am.
Well, if Allison is listening, we miss you. She will be back. She's just a little under the weather right now.
Yep, she'll be back. And we'll try to do our best without her.
I just almost fell over. I'm wearing way too high a heel, I realized today. I think I've hit my limit.
What is your limit? Is it 3 inches, 4 inches?
It's really sad because I like to see the top of the refrigerator.
Yeah. Oh,
Have you ever seen it?
Never in my life.
And so when I could wear high heels, I'm like, oh, that's what's up there?
Yeah.
Anyways, what are you thinking today?
Well, so I was getting dressed this morning, and I'm like, as I always am whenever I see you, I'm like, I gotta see Tara West. What am I gonna freaking wear? Like, this is so much pressure. It's so hard. So obviously I have like a million outfits. I'm like, I can't take Charlie to school. Billy's like, I'll take him. It's a disaster. Then I put on this black t-shirt and I get deodorant marks.
Oh, that sucks.
Oh God. And I was like, oh my God, what is the life hack for deodorant stains or deodorant marks on your clothing?
So I'm so happy. Well, can we back up for one thing you said? Yeah. I love that people get so nervous to see me because they care about what they're wearing. And I mean this with a very sweet heart. Yeah. I don't care. And like, not in a bad way. I don't judge you. You always look good, by the way. I mean, you could wear like a paper sack and you look amazing, but I don't care. Do you know? And I mean that in a very nice way. Like, I don't care, but people put the own pressure on themselves.
Totally.
But the deodorant on the black shirt sucks, and it's such a pain in the ass. But really, if you rub it, if you take the two sides of your shirt and rub it together, that sometimes is the best way to get it out.
Yeah.
Also, I mean, you can use water. Just don't use like a tissue, because then you get all the tissue stain on it.
Yeah.
You know, it's really a pain.
Okay, so water, what would you apply? Like with your hand rubbing with the water?
I would use a towel.
Okay.
Preferably a darker one, since you're wearing a darker shirt. And believe it or not, those Tide wipes.
Yes.
The Tide wipes are like a lifesaver for everything.
Okay, they are so amazing. That pen, I keep the Tide pen in the console of my car because they'll get out anything. But
do the wipes with the deodorant, because the wipes could get it off a little bit better than the stick. But those things are amazing. I wish I thought of those, but I bring them everywhere.
Everywhere. The only thing is, we discovered, one of my friends told me this, the smell of them. It smells terrible.
It's horrible. It almost smells like vomit. Dave, have you ever smelled those?
Are we talking about Tide wipes?
Yeah.
Yeah, every day at about 3:30, I just sniff them just for 45 minutes. No, I haven't, but I got to say, I'm really glad you're bringing this up, because the deodorant stain is the bane of my existence. And my solution is usually buy the gel deodorant instead of the white one. But then sometimes I come home and I look at the deodorant and I go, I bought the white one again. And it's like you get everything done already. You get I wear a lot of black t-shirts and put it on, and then you look and you see those stripes. Yeah. It
but
is
you know
maddening.
What? You know, Dave, I hate the gel though, because for some reason that texture just crushes me. But you're right, that's a smarter move in the summer. Especially.
And they do make some deodorants that say they are stain proof or something, but
there was like a marketing strategy, like the little black dress or something, and it was like, no, this still stains my little black dress.
But you don't have them on now, so how'd you get it out?
So I did the rub together thing, because somebody had told me that little hack, and it did come right out, and I was putting it on over my head, like trying to like avoid I was like,
or the worst thing is, you get dressed and you're like, I can put my deodorant on because I know I'm gonna like this outfit, and then you want to change.
Yes, that's what
happens. You're like, oh God. Anyways, you look fabulous.
Oh, thank you. Oh my gosh. Compliment from Tara West. Always feels so good.
So today, I think, we have listeners who wrote in some questions, which is super exciting. I love when we get the questions from the listeners. Dave has a couple for us too. We're so lucky.
Good. Let's just hit them all. Where do we want to start? Do you have that text when we were looking at the ones from our listeners? I know one person said, how did you decide? Like, we talked a little bit about our pivots in our careers, having both been psychotherapists. You completely pivoted from your private practice. So did Allison. Allison had a pause after working as a clinician, as she was a stay-at-home mom for a while, and then came back to be a designer. But for me, I actually still maintain my practice. I have about 5 patients that I see weekly.
Where do you see them?
Over Zoom.
Oh, okay. So, can we talk about the Zoom therapy for one second? So interesting, because I have a couple people I know who are looking for therapists, and they were like, oh, we can just Zoom. And when I was a therapist, that did not exist, and it would not have existed. It was almost like a no-no. There wasn't enough confidentiality. What would you say? Like protectors, I want to say, in terms of safety and all of that. But of course, COVID changed all that.
Changed all of it.
So do you think being in a room with somebody is just so much better than the Zoom, or do you find there not to be very much of a difference?
So there's pros and cons, and it's not for everybody. I do have a barn on our property that I've seen patients in person there. I like to start an in-person meeting. So we've met, we've seen each other in the physical space. We get a sense for, one another in that way. But the pros are you don't miss session.
Yeah.
So like if it's snowing or if they can't find parking or if it's late or whatever, like you move all of the variables out of the way that deter somebody or would make them preventing showing up for treatment. So showing up is half the battle sometimes.
It is. I think there's just so much to be said about body language, especially when you're working with couples. There's so much. And when you're in a room with people, like we were talking about before, energies. And so I would almost feel like maybe that would be lost. I'm not against it. I never did it as a therapist because it really didn't exist back then.
No, I know. It's new. It's got pros and cons. I will hand you that or give you that. But I don't see couples and I don't see families. I just see individuals. And sometimes I feel like the screen lets me just zero in on their face, on their body language in a different way. Like there may be the room or the light of the siren in the back. Like it's just, I go like right into the moment with them. And I feel like it has been really effective in a lot of ways.
And so how do you balance having a small private practice and your busy interior design?
Yeah, it's a lot. I used to have an office where I saw patients and I just sublet it from a friend of mine on Tuesdays, and it was boundaried. It was like I went in on Tuesdays, I saw my peeps, then I was, in a different role the rest of the week. This is like, and it's totally on me, but I have a patient that I saw yesterday for an hour because I could, because the kids were whatever doing other things, and I'm like it just gets wonky. So the boundaries around it, again, totally my fault, but I can see somebody at 7:30 at night because I'm not going to drive to my office at 7:30 at night, but I might log on to Zoom when kids are doing homework and, they're settled in. So yeah, I
make it work.
I make it work. It's a little bit of a patchwork. And somebody told me, they were like, don't you just get exhausted going out like in role of therapist for an hour and then designer for an hour and then mom for an hour and then da-da-da-da. And I was like, it does take its toll. It does.
Well, I just want to say thank you for being one of the therapists out there because there's a lot of bad therapists. And by the way, Dave, I don't know if you know this, but typically therapists are crazy.
We have proof right on this podcast, right? I do have a question for you guys, which I don't know if you've considered this, but ChatGPT has become competition for therapists, and I'm on certain Facebook groups that just about like prompts for ChatGPT. What are the best ones you can use? And more than one person started commenting that it has become better than any therapist they ever had, which is weird. But if you talk to ChatGPT enough, it does learn a lot about you. Have you guys thought about that or tried it or anything like that?
Yeah, absolutely. I think Allison actually mentioned on one of our podcasts earlier, she's like, well, it's my best therapist ever, right?
Yeah.
She said she goes to ChatGPT to solve her problem.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, I had this moment where I was asking it about, I do ask ChatGPT about everything, and I asked it about, I was experiencing some symptoms of asthma, which I had as for most of my life, but then the symptoms went away. They came back. I was like, is this normal, ChatGPT? I have my asthma symptoms are coming back again. ChatGPT says, yeah, Dave, actually, it might be related to allergies. Remember a couple months ago when you were having that itchiness? So it's like my friend sitting next to me going, oh, yeah. So weird, but I imagine never a replacement for a human.
I don't think a replacement for a human. I think if you're having a problem and you need a quick solution, but typically with therapy, and it's not all therapy, but you're really getting to the core issue, which is deep rooted. Typically, wouldn't you say?
Yes, absolutely. And I mean, the upside is that chat can scour the entire internet for information and may, have data available in their, feedback to you that's really deep and important. And I think chat does a really good job at validating now too, right? It's learned how to say like, I'm so sorry you feel that way. That must be really hard, right? That feels good.
Thank you, robot.
Yeah, thank you, robot. But ultimately, like a treatment plan, right? Like as a therapist, you're thinking, what's the objective of this client, this patient? Where am I going with them? How do we help them fulfill their goals? And pragmatically and in a systematic way, session over session over session, you're building something. And as you said, chat can remember things, but is it really aligned with, the therapeutic objectives? Does it know different interventions of CBT and DBT and when to utilize them in a, in a way that's therapeutic like that? Probably not.
Also, can it call you out? Because some of what we do is call out, but in a productive way to help somebody, right? So I had this client, this is towards the end of my practice, and he was really doing really well. And then he came back and I basically was like, why are you here? Like, you're good. But he was good. He just needed the reassurance that he was good.
Yeah.
So it's like that kind of stuff, that's such a small level, but I know you so well. Like, we have been working together for so long. Let's keep it real in here.
Totally. And I have this white porcelain elephant that's in the barn where I see clients. And it just reminds me that our role as therapists is to name the elephant in the room.
Exactly.
That is something I don't know that chat can. I mean, you could say, what's the elephant in the room, chat? I'd be curious what they'd say, but or it would say. But yeah, knowing these subtle nuances and then big things.
And it's also, Dave, a lot about building relationships, which I'm sure you know, because most of our interactions and what we do plays out in the room as it does in our life.
Yeah.
And so once it plays out in the room, as a therapist, you can really understand why this is happening in your life.
Absolutely. Yes, it's a microcosm to everything else, and reflecting that back is what we do as therapists. So I'm not sure chat's mastered that yet.
When we talk about it, I'm like, oh, I should be a therapist again.
Oh, it's so heavy,
It's really heavy.
It's a lot.
It is a lot. It's so fulfilling and rewarding, but at the same time, it takes a lot out of you. You know, you're giving a lot. And I was thinking about it. So as you may know, we designed a house with a builder in Newton, 61 Westbourne Road on the market, guys. Look it up. It's pretty amazing because the builder let us pick everything. You guys did an incredible job.
We loved
coming
the
soon
project.
To my feed.
Yes, coming soon to Tara West feed. I can't wait to show it to you in person. But so I was at the open house meeting the real estate agent. I needed to put those little felt things on the bottom of the whatever stools that we chose. Anyway, I walked around the house and heard people's feedback. They were like, oh, this wet room, or oh my God, the color drenching, and da-da-da-da. And it was like, I don't get that as a therapist.
Yeah.
I don't get to walk around in somebody's brain after they're healed and in a happy relationship and have beautiful family or life or, whatever, and go, wow, this is satisfying. Look at all the work we did.
That's such a good point. Well, we didn't get to any listeners' questions. So you know what? Why don't we continue in the next episode and we'll get to those questions. We love our therapeutic minds.
I know. It's so fun talking with you. I love it.
All right. Stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
Thanks.
That's it for this week's shortlist. Thanks for listening.
If you enjoyed today's conversation, share it, leave a review, or let us know what's on your short list.
Shorts beyond measure, because the most important things in life can't be quantified.